Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Hector Aguilar with eXp Realty here in Southern California. Today, I'm joined by my associate Isis Papadakis out of the Riviera Maya in Quintana Roo, Mexico. And today, we're actually interviewing Angela from the company called The Address. And we're actually going to be talking a little bit about property management, right? So one thing is about purchasing the property. Maybe you already own something or you're thinking about it, investing in maybe a rental property and you're also worried about, okay, who's going to manage it? What are the steps and who's going to take care of cleaning, linens, you name it. So today, Isis was kind enough to bring Angela from The Address to talk a little bit about property management and how we can submit your investment properties to places like Airbnb and VRBO or even maybe self-manage the property. So with no further ado, please introduce Angela for us, Isis. How are you?
Oh, we're great. Thank you here in the very hot, very sticky Riviera Maya. It has been really hot the last couple days, but other than that, fantastic. Now, a lot of people do ask, what comes next? I have my dream property, but I want to put it to work. So that there's a lot of questions. Now, Angela can kind of step in here and help us. Let's say, Angela, let's say Hector just bought an amazing 3-bedroom property in Tulum, and he's super happy with it. What comes next?
Well, first of all, it depends a lot on the type of, it comes on whatever you want to do. What do you want to do? How many nights do you want to stay over the year? How many times do you want to use it? That comes as well with us knowing that. We can know as well what can we do. First of all, we're gonna set up a plan. Okay, I'm gonna be here maybe 3 or 4 weeks out of the year. So first of all, we're going to take professional pictures. We're going to set the prices on the area. And then we're going to talk about the maintenance and all the extra things these little things that when you buy a little piece of paradise, you don't want to remember.
Right.
I don't know if that sounds like
So what I'm understanding, it can be as hands-on or hands-off as you want. I know a lot of people, they want to buy and they'll tell you, Angela, I want to be there for Christmas and New Year's and I'm not going to be there any other time of the year. And they just want to receive the income. You can do that for them, right?
Perfect. Yes, exactly. First of all, like as we said, it depends a lot on how many nights, how many weeks, how many months, let's say, that you want to stay. We want to check as well all the extras that are inside. Again, those little ones that we don't want to remember, as the maintenance, as if you want to put it for many people, what type of people do you want to allow?
Okay. So the business side of it, because a lot of the things that people don't remember, because this is a business. You do have your property, but that's one part of the investment. And having a really great property manager is like having a really good business partner on the ground. They're the ones that are going to be hands-on. And once you're here, I believe they also make the experience very pleasant for you as well, correct?
The idea is as well that when let's say that you already get your place, that you already put it to work, and then what's the next step? Well, we receive the people, we have a concierge service, and it depends as well, what do you want to get? We have chefs, we have, yachts. Over here in the area, we are blessed. We have everything that we want, and we can do it like that, and everything is right there. Actually, we were talking before, what if I need to get someone from Cozumel? Okay, we're going to get a yacht, or we're going to get a helicopter. What can we do? And these little details that you don't want to concern, you don't want to be worried about, how am I going to move from X airport, from X place, to the area, to the entrance of the place that I'm staying? Well, hello, that's what we're here for. The idea of this is that, sorry?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't interrupt. I was just trying to listen a little bit. But it sounds like property management can be more than just taking care of the property. It sounds like you also offer concierge services with regards to chefs, excursions. It sounds like you even put together maybe fishing trips, yachts, things of that nature. So it just depends on what the owner wants or the people that are going to be renting want as far as an experience, I'm assuming, correct?
Exactly. Because we have to remember, Hector, before people would say, oh, I'm staying at a 5-star hotel. The star ratings were the most important. Nowadays, it's all about the comments. It's all about the experiences people have. So having a great property manager here ensures that your guests are going to have amazing experiences, and then they can transmit that, put that in writing, and that the only thing that generates is more guests coming to your property.
So let me ask you a question. Obviously, once we own a property or an investor owns a property and they determine, I'm going to be here X weeks. I want like Thanksgiving, Christmas. I want New Year's blocked out. Typically, what are you seeing from your owners or investors as far as what's common? Are they blocking those dates out? And more importantly is, obviously, the more the unit is available for the rental pool, the more income possibilities there are. So what's the normal that you're seeing as far as blocking out dates? And can that change if you change your mind or have a specific week that you want to go out there?
Well, the good part of this is that when you are like this close to the management, you can easily say, okay, I want to go. First of all, I would say, please don't come on the top weeks of the year, because obviously your income is going to be different.
Right.
However, if you purchase the place to be there in these important occasions, I will say, yes, okay, we can do it. How can we do it? How much time in advance? My suggestion would be always a year, a month before, so we can do the setups and changing for the marketing as well. Because obviously the peak seasons over here are crazy. Finding something over here in peak season is like almost like
impossible.
This close to be impossible.
And
obviously, there's always something.
And to clarify, what are the peak seasons in the Riviera Maya? From what I understand, it's typically like November through maybe April, May, or am I mistaken?
Well, if we're going to go to the actual peak season, it would be Christmas week, New Year's week. So the last 2 weeks of the year, those are completely crazy. And the closer you get to those dates, the more demand that you have. Gotcha. Spring break is also a really big one. The thing is, what we have to understand is the Riviera Maya has a constant occupancy rate of over 80 to 95%.
I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because I'm really glad you mentioned it.
Exactly. So once we're in peak season, we are at 99% capacity most of the time. So this is why, if you want to come on Christmas and New Year's, it's your property, you decide. But if you want to be, if it's more of an investment, most people will not come during those dates, because the rates will triple or quadruple sometimes. So that means during that time is when you're going to get the most amount of income in the shortest amount of time.
Understood. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I know that, for example, like in San Diego, their occupancy rate typically in their peak season can exceed like 70, 75%. So for the Riviera Maya to experience over 90% occupancy rate during those peak seasons, I mean, that's pretty amazing. So in order to maximize the return, it's probably a good idea not to reserve those specific special weeks for yourself, but maybe rather come a week before or maybe a couple of weeks after that season, in order to maximize the income that you can potentially gain from having those weeks available, right?
Yeah, and remember, Hector, there will be people that say, I don't care. I mean, as you know, it's more important for me to use it than for me to rent it. There's all sorts of clients. So when clients say, we want to spend Christmas, what do you guys do for Christmas for them?
Well, first of all, Christmas is, I don't know, for you in Mexico, especially in this area, for us here, Christmas is family time. Sorry, there was a mosquito there. We're in the Mayan Riviera.
Yeah, that's something that you deal with in Riviera Maya for sure, mosquitoes.
First of all, as a big thing to say over here is that, again, finding things over here in those peak seasons for us is super hard. That's why it's super important for you to have the management, the appropriate, the convenient one. Why? Because obviously you want to spend it with your family. Obviously, if you're coming with your family, or if you're coming on couples or with friends, at the end, that depends on the owner. Obviously, as a concierge service, we can set up everything. Again, We have chef services, we have transportation services. So obviously, in these peak times, you don't want to be in a private crowd place with like, or probably you do, but these things, like in particular, to be in a house that basically you bought for this, is that you want to spend it with your whole family there. So the idea is to do all the setup, so it can be like basically your night in a hotel, but at your own place.
Now, a couple of these services, Hector, let's say I'm a really big apple cider. I love apple cider. I don't drink beer, but I drink apple cider, right? And my husband, he loves his red wine. So you let them know what you want. And when you arrive at your condo, you open your fridge, and that's what you're going to find. So it is so convenient, because at the end of the day, you don't want to spend half a morning or half an evening going to the supermarkets in peak season. I mean, that's not fun. That's like, you know, that's one of the big issues when people say like, yeah, I'd rather stay in a hotel because it's like full service. Well, Angela can do that for you. Angela can make your condo full service, so you don't have to think or worry about anything. She's here to solve all the problems.
So I've experienced the concierge service myself. I go to Cabo every September. A group of us go and we go fishing for tuna, and we have experienced the concierge service. And let me tell you, it's super convenient. We just email them a list of what we want: beverages, water, drinks, food type. We arrange chefs. We also arrange like dinner reservations, things of that nature. So as far as the experience as someone who's going to be renting the unit for a week or visiting the unit for a week, the concierge service, I can tell you firsthand, is probably the best option when you're going through, you know, in this particular case, like a company like The Address. Talking a little bit about, or thinking a little bit about the investor owner, let's say I purchased my property, we've closed, and now we're going to meet with Angela and her team. What are the things that, as an owner, Angela takes care of? Because the majority of developments, number one, don't have furniture. Number two, don't have linens, don't have pots and pans and forks and all the utensils and everything that a unit might need. Is that something that The Address can also help the owner with? And I'm assuming that's not an expense that comes with management, but maybe like a special service to help them furnish it, bring all the things that they need to condition the property to be a rentable unit. Is that something that The Address does as well?
Totally. The idea over here, especially again in this area, obviously if you're investing over here is because you know how amazing this place is, but you don't want to be over here like, okay, let's buy a fridge. Okay, let's buy this. The idea is that, okay, I need this, and this, or I can tell you for the income that you want to have, this is what you need to have on this order. Right. That's what I'm here for. You know, okay, so we can do a list, and then we work together, and then, okay, there's people that say, okay, I want to be really specific on, I don't know, the paintings or the coffee maker. These little details that for people matters a lot.
Right.
That's what we're here for. Because at the end, the idea is that you are telling me, I need this, I need that, I need that. And at the end, if you want to put it on a special place, okay, let's put it however you want to.
Mm-hmm. Another really great thing about Angela's service is, for instance, someone might say, oh, for me, a washer dryer is indispensable. But really, when someone from the property management side comes in, they'll say the only thing you're buying is a problem. Why? Because if you're not going to live the unit full time, that you're only buying a problem. Or to say, you know what, I don't want to put a TV there. They're going to make the suggestions, and this is what there are. There's suggestions on how to make your unit the most profitable, and that is
fantastic.
Like a balance between the investment and what you're getting. Because you don't want to invest, I don't know, $6,000 for like a white leather couch for here, right? Because it's a rental property, and red wine stains, and it's horrible, and it's hard to get out.
So it sounds like really The Address can help you maximize the design, the furnishings, the style, in order to maximize the return, because you know better than most as far as what is expected from someone who's going to rent it out, right? Someone who's going to stay there a week with their family. And I agree with you. I don't think if you're going to have an investment, I don't think a washer dryer really is important, because no one wants to really do laundry on their vacation, right? But certainly maybe if the development has, or the condo complex might have like a laundry room that they can use, if you will. But maybe I can take that budget and take her suggestions and add an additional television, or maybe some additional furnishings, or something that's going to make the unit just pop. Because the truth is, we have to realize that we're competing against the big hotels, right? And
Yeah.
the idea behind owning a property in Riviera Maya as an investment is exactly that, right? To maximize the return on your investment year after year. So I'm glad that that's a service that the address provides. As far as a monthly fee is concerned, does it vary from client to client or from unit to unit? Or is there an average as far as what you charge when you're booking? For example, is it 10%? Is it 15%? What are the different fees that might be associated with managing a property for an investor owner in Riviera Maya?
It varies in terms of what does the people want. You as an owner, again, if you are looking forward to get 80% at least the whole year, the minimum is 30%. But if you're looking forward to get something that is like, okay, I'm gonna be living over there half of the year, it comes down for 10%, let's say. Because again, even when you're living in the place, you don't want to remember, oh, I need to pay this bill, I need to pay that bill. That's why we're here for. Oh, I forgot to bring my towel.
Mhm.
These little details that matters a lot, that are simple details, that's what we're here for. Yeah, when you're not living on a place forever, but not say forever, but for a big season, these little details, you don't need to remember it.
Even if for someone who's thinking about living in the unit, permanently, initially, you're probably not going to live in the property maybe 3, maybe 6 months out of the year. So it makes sense to have someone like the address to take care of the minor details, so that when you do enjoy it, that everything is at your beck and call, and you don't have to worry about, has it been paid? Do I have to set up the accounts to pay it? Do I have to, go to the office of the utilities to pay it? Like, there's something to be said about convenience and peace, right? Like, you want to enjoy your unit and not have to worry about those things. So I'm really grateful that they provide those things.
Super important, Hector, because one of the things is we don't expect our clients to speak Spanish. And here, going to the electric, going to the water company, it is, it's frustrating for anybody. And even more a little bit so here, because we are not as advanced in that respect sometimes in the States. Or for instance, we have like more of the companies are gearing towards apps and payments, and it's fantastic, but they won't accept an international credit card. So
Right.
we provide, the address provides solutions for seemingly mundane problems, but that when you're in the midst of it and you're going to say, how can I pay my electric because I have a US credit card, and
Right.
for them to provide the solutions, that's what they do. Like, what if we can get one message across to people is property management companies are solution providers.
Right.
They will, solve the problem of what about the internet? What about the cable? They will solve all those issues. Yes, there's a cost associated with it, but once you balance it out with the convenience, I think it is a no-brainer. Because some people will say, no, I'm going to manage my own unit. And then we see them 3-4 months later, with a whole bunch of issues.
Right. And truthfully, I think most investors that are thinking about buying it in the Riviera Maya, they're thinking about, maximizing their return. And I think that property management, as you mentioned, is a solution. It can take away all those headaches that you really don't want to deal with, unless you're buying the property to live in it full time. And even then, you might want to visit with someone like the address to kind of guide you on how to get it done and how to do it, because the truth is that it's not as easy as doing it here in the States or in Canada. But for sure, we need to rely on your expertise as to who we need to go see, where we need to go pay, where can we get the internet, and who's the better provider. All those things are benefits that the address provides investors, so that when the time is ready and the keys are delivered, who knows, you might be able to get a return day one and get it rented into your rental pool. Now, one of the questions I did have for you is, does the address take care of, for example, promoting the property on sites like Airbnb and VRBO and maybe other sites that that do vacation rentals. Is that something the address takes care of, or do the owners have to take care of that as well?
It depends entirely on the owner. We have this big platform. The name is Apimo. It's a platform is from France, and it's mainly for European people, which means that when we are doing advertising or marketing for your property, most of the people that is going to come is people that we want, let's say, set up on a certain level, that we want these people to be in your property.
Okay.
And again, these kind of things are super important when you're managing something, because when you're getting a property in the Mayan Riviera, you want this property to age well.
Right.
Okay. So obviously, if you want to promote it in things that are more common, yes, you can do it. But then what type of clients are you going to have?
Mm-hmm.
That is super important as well. Yes, you can do your own management. Yes, totally. But do you know how to? That's the main question.
You know, and I think as an investor owner, when you're buying your first investment property in Mexico, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't want to have a property management company help you, because I, for one, even though I speak Spanish fluently, I, for one, wouldn't know where to begin. So I think owning a property and working with someone like the address is absolutely important and essential, just to make sure that you're maximizing your return and minimizing your headaches. Because after all, what we're trying to do is we're trying to enjoy our property and also get a return on it. So, kudos to the address for providing all those services. Super excited to have you today. I hope I asked all the right questions, and I'm not sure, maybe Isis, if I left anything out, would you maybe let me know?
A great thing also, I mean, the address, they're fantastic, but this is like also finding the right condo. There's different companies that have different approaches. You do have to, the great thing about this is you can find the property that works best with you. The address is fantastic, but just like for me, I might want a luxury 3-bedroom condo. Someone might say, you know what? No, I want like a smaller studio that's downtown. So there are property managers geared toward different segment types.
Understood.
That's important for you guys to know. It's not a blanket solution cover. The address is geared towards more of the upper end luxury vacation rentals. So that it's important for you guys to know that you have to find the administration type that works for your unit.
I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because you're right. I mean, maybe the address, as you said, is geared more for larger luxury properties. And from the sounds of it, they're also targeting a different demographic, mainly Europeans, that are probably more likely to want to stay in a more luxurious unit. But if you have something like a studio, maybe something downtown, and I'm assuming it's also going to depend on where you purchase. If you purchase like in Puerto Morelos or Tulum or Playa del Carmen or somewhere in between, that could also change the pool of potential clients. And that's something that as an investor, if you're considering buying, we need to rely on someone like Isis, who's going to know the communities, is going to know the developments, and is going to probably know where to put your money so that you can get a better return depending on the type of clients you want. So I'm glad that you pointed that out. I know the address is probably one of many property managers out there, and it's good to have options available. Certainly the address could probably, if you wanted to do an interview with them or maybe a consultation, Isis can put together a one-on-one interview with you. Just reach out to us via DM and we'll make that happen. So you can ask them questions about maybe your potential unit. But in addition to that, I'm sure Angela and her team can also recommend, based on their experience, what locations and properties are also seeing the greatest return, if that's the most important thing for you. And it's also going to depend on your budget.
That's a great question. Now, Angela, if you had to put your finger on it, just one location, because I know we have so many, where would you invest $150,000 if you were going to invest it today?
Downtown Playa del Carmen.
Okay.
Downtown Playa del Carmen? Yeah, I would agree with you. I like Tulum, don't get me wrong, but I think Playa del Carmen gives you the services, right? Like transportation, utilities, grocery stores, nightlife, restaurants, kind of at a really close distance, a few blocks. Where Tulum is a little bit more, I don't know how to say it in English, more salvaje, there's more rainforest, it's a little more secluded. You definitely have to bike everywhere. And also a different type of culture altogether. But two different type of experiences. But the good thing about Playa del Carmen is you can go to Cozumel, you can go to Isla Mujeres, you can take a small drive to Tulum, you can go down to you can go to Chichen Itza and do all those things. It's kind of like the central hub. So I agree with you. I think Playa del Carmen is the best.
The Riviera Maya. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Playa del Carmen is the heart of the Riviera Maya. We are right smack in the middle, so it does help.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad that we had an opportunity to chat. I'm looking forward to, meeting you guys in person in the future. And like I said, if anyone has any additional questions or wants to maybe talk to Isis about potential developments, and also maybe talk to Angela regarding some of the services they provide or can provide for your unit, please feel free to DM us, give us a call, and we'd love to set it up. Once again, this is Hector Aguilar with eXp Realty here in Southern California. Thank you, Isis, and thank you, Angela, for your time.
Thank you so much for having us, guys. It was our pleasure. See you next week, guys.
We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.